In the last video, we talked about the 2 essentials of backhand timing. Brace before you throw, and make sure that your hand beats your trail shoulder into the pocket. But what about everything else? What about the coil, the X step, the follow through? Well, today we are going to cover each other part of the backhand form, boil it down to its key mechanics so we're not just mimicking what other pros are doing for no reason. So by the end of this video, you're going to know what each part of the form does, what to worry about, more importantly, what not to worry about. Let's get started. We're going to break the throw up into 6 different parts: walk up, X step, coil, plant/brace, throw, and then follow through. So for the walk up, a lot of players try to bring in a ton of momentum into their walk up, thinking that it's going to help their speed. In actuality, most amateurs can't brace well enough to make use of a faster walk up, and they're just gonna drift past their brace anyways. So until you can properly stop your momentum completely with your brace, you don't need to be bringing any extra speed into this equation because you're just gonna leak it by spilling over your brace anyways. Instead, what I want you to think of your walk-up as is primarily for accuracy. So the goal of the walk-up is to get your body mass moving towards your target line. Because if you spend all of this time walking up, moving this direction, it's a bit tougher for you to spray it. Not impossible, obviously, but get the body going that direction, we kind of encourage the disc to go that direction. Walk-up is for accuracy. Only at advanced levels, when you've got a good brace, can you think about bringing in more momentum. The X step. This is just another part of the walk-up, so the goal is very similar. The X step right here is just to help us maintain momentum towards our target line at 12 o'clock. There are a lot of players who get totally obsessed over the angle of their back foot during the X step. But I can show you videos of pros with their foot basically backwards. Check out Adam Hammes here at New London. Adam can do this because his foot going backwards doesn't stop his momentum from traveling towards his target line. So while we're moving forward, our back foot's gonna turn a little bit. This starts setting up our body very naturally towards this 11 o'clock brace position. So my target's there, 12 o'clock, my feet end up getting set up towards 11, what we might call stagger, right? Even though you're not pushing your foot forward during this step. So body momentum going forward, my foot is gonna just tweak backwards naturally by nature of me crossing behind, as long as it doesn't impede my forward momentum and make me start coming towards you or away from you. Good to go on the angle there. So here, and then it sets up our base, our brace at 11 o'clock. So final note on Adam here, he's able to do that because brace not compromised, momentum towards target not compromised. Most of you guys, if you put your foot backwards, would be in a little bit of trouble accomplishing those 2 major goals. If you're accomplishing those 2 things injury-free, then you're good to go. Coil. Well, this must mean that we are getting ready to uncoil really quickly. Nay, my friends. As odd as this might sound, if you start thinking of the coil as setting up for this massive uncoil in which you're just gonna unload forward with your body that you've twisted up, that kind of thinking is going to get you to break the timing absolute of hand beating shoulder that we talked about in the last video. Instead, you should think about this as just creating the length of your swing, and your swing predominantly being kind of your arm swing. So the more we coil, the more time I have to swing my arm forward, just creating a runway for the arm. With that being said, we don't always want a lot of room to accelerate, right? If we're trying to throw a disc slower, it's not helpful to have all of this room back here to accelerate. So we use our coil as a way to kind of set the swing length for all of our shot speeds. So check out here Simon on an approach shot and look at his coil. Now look at Simon on this max distance shot. Way more swing length when he's trying to throw further than shorter. I want you to forget about everything you know about disc golf for a second. What is a brace? Now, chances are you thought of something like a brace for a bridge or a brace for your arm when your bone is broken. You thought of things that give support, give structure. You didn't think of things probably that create or generate power. So why do we do that in disc golf? Why do we think that the brace is going to generate some power? So I think the most accurate way that you can think about the brace is exactly how it sounds. Stop. Create support. Do not go forward anymore. No movement. Primarily, the brace is there to stop our forward momentum. So my body's moving. This would be a bad brace in stopping forward momentum. This would be a good brace in stopping forward momentum. Kept me back behind this front foot. The other thing that we're going to use it to stop is our hips. Predominantly, the brace is stopping the hips, in my opinion. Look at AB here in the distance comp. Look at his hips. Does this look like he is rotating them as quickly as possible? No, they're quite still. It's surprising that they are as still as they are with how much momentum and movement he brought in before this. So the goal with the brace is to stop the hips from moving forward, to stop them from just rotating open as quickly as they want to. So bracing, very simple. Stop moving your base. Set it there. It's not just your foot that has to stop and everything else goes. You have to stop your entire base. Now, don't mishear me. Just because I'm saying that we're not generating power with the lower body doesn't mean that I'm saying that we don't use the lower body. It takes a lot of effort to stop, especially when you're bringing in a lot of momentum. Stopping is tough, but it's also very simple. So don't think of bracing as a way to generate power, but think of bracing as conserving the power that you generated from your upper body. Okay, I don't feel like we really need to explain why we throw the disc, so I'm just gonna rehash a little bit of what we covered in the last video. Feel free to watch that whole thing for more info. The arm is a major power generator of the throw. You can throw quite far with just your arm. So bad. Oh, wait.
Go in.
So the throw is basically you throwing with your arm, and your body moves out of the way for the most part to help you accomplish that. If you're watching this and you're like, I know, it's all bad. I know this already and it's all broken. I don't know where to start. Well, I really cannot overstate the value of having a coach who knows these things, go through your form and say, hey, we're just gonna start here and make it real simple for you on where to start, and they just tell you what to work on. We've got coaches available on our Patreon, and we're gonna bring a couple more on here pretty soon. That link is in the pinned comment if you want targeted, personalized feedback. All right, now on to the follow through. The follow through is your body's way of decelerating your arm in a healthy manner. So the way I like to think about it personally is that your arm is like the car inside of one of these drag races, you know, where they have those really pointy cars, and then your body is the parachute afterwards that your arm kind of latches onto and says, hey, I would like to slow down now before I reach the end range of this motion and destroy my shoulder. Can I kind of grab you to slow me down, to help me kind of pump the brakes here? And your body's like, sure, let's go for it. With that being said, as coaches, sometimes we will instruct a student to do something specific in their follow through in hopes that it will kind of work its way back into their form and affect something earlier. So for example, a common one is that I'll tell students to finish with their hand up. This makes sure that they're on this tilted plane. They're probably not gonna go like this, stand straight up and go. like that. But if I can get them finishing up, they'll stay over the shot a bit more, which is earlier. It's not part of the follow through, but I can affect an earlier part of the throw. So, but the best way to think about the follow through is not to think about it at all, but to have your body naturally just finish the shot how it wants to, because there are a lot of different angles that your body can go through and it has to follow through different ways. For example, here's how I would follow through on an Anheuser shot that's a little more touchy. I'm not going to teach every student to sweep their follow through over here, but since I'm letting my body work through this naturally, it's going to have a different follow through on Anheuser than Heiser. Anheuser to flat, they're all going to be different. Let your body do what it wants to slow down. Now, a very notable non-mention here is the hip clear. Not because it doesn't happen or I don't see players' hips rotating. It's because if I tell somebody to think about a hip clear, they won't brace properly. So I would rather tell them stop and brace and get a hip clear thrown in than, hey, clear your hips, and then they never brace. So I view the hips more as an anchor, therefore I do not teach the hip clear. That's just what I've seen in my lessons. I can't speak for other coaches. There are lots of solid coaches out there who very intentionally teach the hip clear. No problem with them. Just doesn't work when I do it. If I tell someone stop, brace, looks good. If I tell them hip clear, they just blow past their brace. So from the beginning, our walk up gives us momentum towards our target line. Our X step carries that momentum forward while setting us up for this 11 o'clock brace. Now, after our X step, we're going to coil, which is going to create room for the swing. Then we brace, which creates our base, so our arm has something to throw against. Then we throw, disc go far. And then we follow through so that our body has a way of comfortably and naturally decelerating everything that we made go quick before that. I hope that simplification of the backhand will help bring some ease and some calm to you overthinking minds out there. Remember, pros don't know all that much about the swing. They're very intuitive. Personally, I don't think this is coincidental at all. I think they're able to throw so well because they don't have quite as much going on in their brain as we have when we step up to a tee pad. While we have to learn some technical aspects of the throw, I think the sooner you can simplify them, the sooner you could get to playing good disc golf. As always, thanks for watching. All the best with your practicing. Peace out.